Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to vlog number 3 of the fall 2023 Don't Wake the Dragon series. I am pretty excited. It is getting close. I'm getting to that point where I have like that antsy, can't sleep with excitement kind of place that I always get to as I'm nearing the finish line of a project. I do have a little bit of green mica to put onto the neck of this dragon before I can begin applying the holy fabric. As far as the body goes, there are a couple tests to do this weekend, and one of them is the venting situation. So where the heck are those? Hang on, where are they? I think I put them under here. Put them under here, somewhere. Maybe. Pause for a momentary frantic me looking for stuff I bought that threw somewhere and cannot freaking find. I have these curtain hook grommets for like the curtain rods that I got at Joann's that were much cheaper than any other rubber option. And I need to test these out. So I'm gonna just take, where is it, my test sample here. Drill a hole, have a go at sandwiching this because it has a little bit of a raised bit that should be able to recess into the wood, and then the other piece get glued onto the back, and that will allow me to have some venting happening in the sides of the dragon body. Those need to go on, or at the very least I need to pre-drill for where those are going to go before I can put on the holy fabric. It'll be a much cleaner finish. I don't like the silver. I'm not crazy about the silver. They didn't have black for the size I needed, so I'm going to be spray painting these in black, at least for the outside ones. The inside I might leave silver. I will have that silver holding on all the little bits around the frame, the little acorn nuts. That's one test that needs to happen. I was thinking a lot about whole waxing thing, and though I think that it's a great idea to put some kind of adhesive on this fabric that could be heat set, I had another thought. If I could use fusible webbing, the double-sided fusible webbing that is used in sewing to make, what are those? Those are the decals, the things that you put on. I've used it before. It was the summer project, one of my relief sewing projects where I made these cheese balls, and I had used some, and then it gave me the idea that maybe I should try that. It is a double-sided adhesive that you iron one side onto fabric that you're going to be using. You peel off the paper backing and you iron the other side to the object. My next move is to also test that. Over time, this is still continuing to yellow. I think that's just the nature of the resin. This has been inside the garage. Though it has been hit with sawdust, it hasn't really been exposed to UV light. I'm gonna live with that. I'm okay with it having this like antique-y look. It's still gonna have this monochromatic thing going on. There are other resins that you can get that will be less likely to yellow. For me, it's not a route I wanna go to right now. It's an expense that I don't think that I can take on. It is what it is. I'm gonna get on with, I think, mica-ing this head first, and then I will move into testing those two things. All right, I'm gonna get on with getting on. The adhesive I'm using is Heat Bond Light, and this is an adhesive paper that you get, I got at Joann's. It's used for bonding two pieces of fabric together. I like to use it when I'm quilting to sandwich my pieces together. It just helps me keep the fabric from moving so I can go ahead and do my top stitching. The goal here is to hope that this adhesive does not have any kind of weird reaction when the resin goes on top. So I have a piece of my fabric that I'll be using, and I cut a piece of the Heat Bond. And the first step is to adhere it to the fabric. Using the iron. Then I'm going to wait for it to cool, and when it cools I should be able to peel the paper off, stick it to whatever object I'm sticking it to. In this case, this is my sample. All right, it is good and on there. Now the ultimate test is to smack some resin over this and see if that coating has some kind of weird reaction. It's probably going to be a day or two before I can ensure that the results are good and on there, but here's hoping, right? This pack, it's meant for fabric. So it comes with one that has this like little ridge, this little extra like popped up part. And then the other part is recessed in with some spikes. I think that it would be best for me to not use these ones with the spikes. It also has this little space that I'm not really too fond of. So go ahead and just use two of the ones that have the little protruding bit. And they will fit in nicely. It'll do what it needs to. So now the only thing is to make sure I have a really strong drill bit. This Foster bit seems to be okay, but I haven't tested it drilling through the fiberglass, and I don't have any free fiberglass at the moment that isn't wet because it just started raining and it's tacky and I have no scrap pieces laying around. I should have tried drilling the hole first, but it is what it is. I'll have to decide where I'm going to put them. I'm thinking maybe 4 on each side or maybe 6. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Who knows? We'll see. I can't do any more today because it's starting to rain out there and the stuff I had coated this morning is now turning to a white haze because it's interacting with the water. So, yeah, the body that I thought was finished might have to get another round of something put over this, another coat of mica to fix that problem. But that means that I don't have much I can work on at the moment. So, here we are. Alright y'all, my test samples are finished. They seem to work out really well. I have ordered some more of that heat bond so that I can use it to apply the patterned fabric, and I have tested out the circle. I was able to drill through with my Foster bit and it's the accurate size. So that's good to go. There are just a couple finicky bits that need to get taken care of before I can start applying the final finish, the holy fabric. I'm really excited that I'm getting to that point. The studio has had it tidy so that that's ready to go. I have this final piece. This is the remainder of the door frame. I originally had this piece attached, then realized it'd be much easier just to take the piece off, deal with it on its own, and then go ahead and attach this once it's done. I need to take care of whiting out this side, so I'll be applying a sheet of fiberglass and then the white dye to this. And once that is done and cured, it'll be ready to go into the back piece. And this is the final piece that I need to attach as far as the shell goes. The body and the head will be in 2 separate pieces, but all the pieces theoretically are here and should fit. Knock on wood that when this head gets brought over to the body that everything is okay. The holes need to be drilled for the venting in the body before the holy fabric can go on. And then I had some issues with the eyes. I don't remember, to be honest, and I don't have the footage of. There were a couple spots that had some leaking light area. So I had to go in and do a bit of taking some of the black fabric and some resin and just kind of shove it into the pupils around from the outside. So that's the plan. So I've been playing with several different ways to get this best attached. I tried tacking it, I tried using some pins. The pins didn't really quite sit the way I wanted it to. And then I tried flooding it with the resin all at once. This last technique, I think, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, is gonna work. I think I like the idea of just putting a thin layer of resin on, then sticking the fabric to it, letting it harden first, and then come back with more resin once it's on and rolling over the whole thing. So that's gonna be my way of trying this. I haven't done it that way with the others. Hopefully this works out, because what this will help me do is position it. And the main part of the finicky part that was taking so long is actually getting the resin in the holes to get this fabric to stick. But hopefully if I do it this way, I can just position it, get it to stick, let it freeze, then go over it with the resin. It'll be a much faster process overall. I started out with these larger panels. I was hoping that any scrap pieces I would have would still be large enough to fit in another area. Rather than starting with the head, even though that was inside and covered, it would have been much easier to work. I really needed, these are the larger pieces, to get the bigger sections on so I can ensure that I have enough fabric and then use the scrap pieces that were left that I've been cutting off to fill in with the smaller bits. Alright, so I'm going to mix up some resin and smack this on and see what happens here. It turns out that this fabric is just hard to cut. These are my good scissors that I brought out here, and even this is having a hard time with this fabric. If I had the ability to take a fabric roller, it would have been great, but I just don't trust doing it with this process. So, you know, I don't want to be rolling up against the dragon. It is what it is. Alright, now the trick is to remove this fabric so that I can put the layer on without it blowing away like it happened to me on the other side. Perhaps if I leave those nailed in and just remove these, I only am slightly tacking just to hold it in place while I trim. If I can do that, that might work. Then I will coat and then smack it back on. Tacking may be necessary. So at the moment, it's only about 75 degrees, but this is really hot to the touch. It was pretty hot to the touch long before the resin went on, and then the resin heats up because it's a chemical reaction. Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping this would stick quickly, and then I could come back, put on a full coat. Starting to wonder if this is more bother than just pouring it on. I don't know if this is gonna work. There's only one way to find out. I gotta walk away from it for about 20 minutes and see. It seems to somewhat have worked. It's pretty stuck on there. There are some areas that it didn't quite make contact with, but I think this is probably the last of my largest panels. Probably have less of an issue going forward. There's 4 panels done already. The 2 on the other side that are also large got completed. So I'm gonna pour this on, hit it with a roller, see if this works out. Don't have as much working time with the roller. For some reason these rollers just like kick really quick. I think it might have to do with whatever's in the foam. Maybe it's off-gassing into the resin, and that is why it forces the resin to like cure much faster on the roller than it does in anything else. But this, I don't know, I like this method. This seems to be a better method. I certainly went on much easier. I gave in, and I'm trying it, and it seems to be okay. So Just using straight edge and my rotary wheel. The coating on the shell, I think, is just far too thick for me to worry about any little minor scratching. And I'm hoping that the next layer of resin that goes on will take care of any of the little bits of scratching that happen while using this thing. Come on now. I was working a minute ago. I think it's alright. It'll get the job done. It doesn't seem to be putting scratches in, so it's all good. I'm getting a better line than using those scissors. I'm gonna just roll with it. You're killing me. I want you out. In and out. In and out. Ah. So I was able to get quite a bit done over the weekend. I am trying to take it easy. I'm only supposed to be doing about 2 to 3 hours worth of work at a time because my shoulder, my neck thing is still healing. I got quite a bit done on the body. I only actually have a few more pieces left to go. I do, every time I have to start a new session, I do need to clean up the spaces that I'm going to be applying more fabric to. I did make some great strides on the head as well. We'll go inside and take a look at that. It's not quite as far along as this body is, but it's getting there. I would say about maybe a third of the head is good to go. There are spaces that I have put tape on so that I don't forget where I'm not putting fabric, along with the bottom. All of the bottom where it's gonna meet the base is not gonna get the holy fabric just yet because I'm gonna have to apply more tape to connect the bottom to the base. All the rest of the body will get resolved with the holy fabric. I am cleaning with just a little bit of some water so that I can get any of the mysterious bird droppings and insect droppings that have happened while I was last working this. Rain, I had morning fog this morning. It's pretty crazy driving to work in the dark with crazy fog rolling in, but that fog leaves a layer of haze on things. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this weird white haze. It dried fine and it was clear, and then today when I came out to look at it, it had this weird white haze on it. I don't know what that is. I don't think it's permanent. I can't tell. Like if I wipe it, it goes away. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it. What else? Alright, sun's so hot, I went on a quick run and this is already dry, so I pull out the nails now at this point. And now I'm going to be mixing up a larger batch, and I will be rolling on the larger batch with the roller. That's when that weirdness happened with that layer. I think that I waited too long and maybe moisture got in. I don't know. But it is what it is. I don't know. I can't. I'm getting to the point where I gotta not let it bother me because there's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna try rolling over it with a little bit of resin and see if it removes some of that white. But it cured initially fine. I don't know what's going on with it. There's no going back. The only way to go back is to completely grind off that whole layer and start fresh, and I'm not going to do that. It is what it is. What else? She's got one big head. It's hard to get a good shot of what's going on in here, but I got pretty much this whole section squared away, and then I did quite a bit of this top. There's only a few small pieces that have not gotten hit, and the lighting in here is terrible, so it's hard to really see even if I brought you around. I would say she's about a third of the way done. I think I'm going to switch up to just working in here. I will try and capture some footage. Out there, I put on the tack layer. This fabric still was permeable and could absorb the moisture that was in the air. I needed to hurry up and get the top coat rolled on because the last thing I wanted was to have the fabric start absorbing the dirt and the insect droppings and bird droppings, moisture in the air, and have this fabric kind of absorb it and me not know whether or not it was fully dry before I rolled on the next coating. So that's why I've been doing it in sections. That's why it has this weird choppiness. Hopefully though, it'll even itself out. In here, I did not do the rollover coat because I don't need to really worry so much. It's in the garage. When I do put on that final coat, I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more even. All right, to business. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of these pieces and continue on getting this head coated. Alright y'all, so here is where I left off on the dragon, and I'm just going to give you a quick tour before I close out this vlog. It's a little hard to get her all in the shot here. Swing around the back. So the door section is ready to go. I do need to put in a little bit more fabric around that part, but then otherwise this body is pretty much ready to get put onto the base. And then swing around here. Hello buddy man. I have yet to put on the fabric to that panel, the meshy one that's going to go on. Vent holes are drilled here, ready to go, and the inside has not had any of the pattern fabric yet. That's probably going to be in the next vlog. Alright, let's go take a look at the head. Kitties, kitties, kitties everywhere. Have a foggy morning. Foggy Saturday fall morning. And here we are with the head. I have yet to get to bits of the neck. There still is that underside, the one underside that is black, that I have not mic'd out because I'm waiting to flip the thing because it's too cumbersome. But this side has had a decent go, and we are in a heat wave. So my focus for this weekend hopefully is going to be try and do what I can here with the head. Because right now everything is waiting on this head. Because the base is ready to go, I'm waiting on this head, and I still need to make a decision about whether or not I'm going to put the pattern fabric inside first before I assemble, or to assemble and then put the pattern fabric. I'm still going back and forth between those two things. Anyhow. Alright y'all, I'm going to call this vlog here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Stick around to watch this project all unfold, and remember, don't wake the dragon.